In a year of momentous happenings, 1983 was a year of new technologies, assassinations, and awards for peace activism. After years of searching for a replacement for the turntable, which was basically 19th century technology, the compact disc, or CD, was released to the public early in 1983. Revolutionizing the music recording industry, the CD soon became the standard, and derivatives of the technology now form the basis for many digital storage systems. In what was seen as a triumph for Nazi hunters, Klaus Barbie, the Butcher of Lyon, was extradited from Bolivia to stand trial for murders he committed in France during World War II. Barbie, who personally tortured prisoners, was blamed for the deaths of 4,000 people. In April 1944, Barbie had ordered the deportation to Auschwitz of a group of 44 Jewish children from an orphanage at Isieux. In Asia, a cold-blooded assassination became one of the momentous happenings of 1983 for the Philippines. It was on August the 21st that former Filipino Senator Benigno Aquino was murdered at Manila Airport. His death sparked off a series of riots and demonstrations and pushed the Philippines closer to a popular uprising. It also put the spotlight firmly on the question of an eventual successor to the then 66-year-old President Ferdinand Marcos. As Aquino left his plane, shots rang out, and the journey to the capital, which had begun in the hope of political reconciliation, ended when both Aquino and his assassin were gunned down. 3 Philippine generals were later implicated in the murder. The momentous happenings of 1983 continued with events that celebrated opposition to tyranny and oppressive colonial rule by foreign powers. The motion picture Gandhi, which dramatized the life of the great Indian Mahatma Gandhi, was the star of the 1983 Academy Awards in Hollywood, winning 8 Oscars, including Best Film. Ben Kingsley, who won Best Actor for playing the part of Gandhi, told reporters that he was not in danger of thinking of himself as a guru.
I think that if one allows one's strict limits on the work to spill over into other psychological areas, I think it's dangerous. I think it's a manipulation of the ego that can become a little bit ill, so that my limits on my work are very, very strict. I'm a storyteller. I stick strictly within that frame. I don't really indulge in any bizarre psychological exercises. So no, it was my job to share Gandhi with you, but never to become him, no.
And Sir Richard Attenborough, who was named Best Director after struggling for 20 years to finance and make the film, told a news conference he hoped audiences would listen to the message of peace contained in the movie.
One of our political leaders at home said to me in a letter that the 3 hours of the film had achieved more than he'd achieved in 50 years of politics, and that he just hoped that Mr. Andropov and Mr. Reagan and Mrs. Thatcher might perhaps go and look at the movie.
When Polish Solidarity leader Lech Wałęsa was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize for 1983, he feared that he would not be allowed back into Poland if he went to collect it himself. So his wife Danuta and son Bogdan went to Oslo, where they collected the prize for him. Mrs. Wałęsa was given a standing ovation at the ceremony and afterwards was honoured by a torchlight procession through the streets of Oslo by thousands of Solidarity supporters. When a Korean Airlines Boeing 747 was shot down by Soviet jet fighters in Soviet airspace on September the 1st, killing 269 passengers and crew, this so-called mistake was nothing but a tragedy that was highlighted further by lies and a cover-up of the truth.
Of course, it was a mistake in the sense that the pilots certainly took this plane for a reconnaissance plane. They never thought it was a civilian plane. If they did, the decision would have been totally different. I'm absolutely certain of that.
A few weeks later, when Soviet officials handed over personal effects and belongings to South Korean government and airline officials, the recovered black box recorder of the ill-fated flight was not among them. In a year that had seen a small amount of justice and a large amount of tragedy, 1983 was truly a year of momentous happenings.